Well, it's already that time of year again when we get to sit in front of a virtual fireplace and reminisce about old Windows software from years ago. Except, this year we're going to be changing things up a little bit because I feel like these Christmas specials have gotten pretty repetitive over the last few years. Because we always take a look at a Microsoft pack of Christmas/winter software for Windows XP. Except for that one year we took a look at a third-party pack of Christmas software instead, which was kind of a nice change, but still, I think, kind of similar to what we had already been doing. This time around, however, we're going to be taking a look at something that a lot of you guys can't seem to get enough of on this channel, and that is Windows bootlegs, because I searched on the Crusty Windows wiki for the word Christmas, and it turns out they've got 3 different bootlegs that are all themed around Christmas-related things. We've got Windows 7 Christmas Edition 2015, Windows 10 Christmas Magic Pro, and finally, Windows 10 Christmas 2022 LTSC. Which, yes, means that is still technically under support from Microsoft, which is rather hilarious. So the goal of today's video is to install these 3 bootlegs, point and laugh at them, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff to make fun of, and just have some fun, because that's what this season is all about, at least for me anyways. And yes, I know that we've got Microsoft Bob running here, all nicely set up with all these different decorations and stuff. You won't believe how long it took me to do all of this, because this program is so frickin' unintuitive to use. Yeah, we're not actually using the 98 PC today. I am not that stupid. I know that this setup kind of implies that we're using the 98 PC, but I've got 3 computers down here on the floor. And one of those is this HP system currently running Windows 10 with like an AMD Athlon 3 GHz processor, 5 gigs of RAM, that's kind of a weird number. And yeah, I mean, this is a much more recent computer than the machines that we typically use on this channel. So yeah, we'll be able to install Windows 7 and the 2 Windows 10 builds totally fine. And we're going to begin, naturally, with the Windows 7 Christmas Edition 2015. Now, I had to put it on a USB drive because the ISO is larger than what will fit on a DVD. And that's the case for 2 out of these 3. One of them will fit on a DVD, but I just put it on a USB drive anyway. So yeah, we're going to just go in here and I guess just restart the system because we're not going to be able to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 7. So let's see what incredibleness we have in store for us. So we've got a Windows Boot Manager thing that came up. We have to launch Windows Setup, EMS enabled. Okay, do we have some weird boot screen? No. Just a standard one. Of course, I mean, we don't even have the thing installed yet, so I mean, that could certainly change. But, okay, we do have a different setup background. Merry Christmas! And you can't even read the word Christmas entirely because of this box. And you also can't really read the text over here because they have it on, like, on top of the gift boxes there. And this comes to us, of course, from TeamOS. They are a notorious group in the, like, Windows bootleg community, if you want to call it that. They do seem to make a lot of these things. So yeah, we'll go with all the default options. We're going to install now. Stratting Christmas 2015. I'm assuming that's supposed to say starting. And yeah, Windows 7 Ultimate Service Pack 1 is what this is based on. So, okay, we can't read this down here really at all. I mean, I can make this out, Christmas 2015 installing. This is the information part. But yeah, not really great for, you know, if you want to actually read any of this stuff. I mean, so, like, look at this. I mean, yeah, you can read, like, sort of. But it's like, why is there not just a white, solid background like there typically is? We're going to just go and just delete the existing partitions on here, because this just has a Windows 10 install with nothing really on it other than that. So we're going to do that, and we'll install on the unallocated space. And there we go. You see, they have everything that said Windows changed to Christmas 2015. That's like what they're got the product name changed to. But they also have applying Christmas 2015 watermark. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see how like obnoxious that is. Unlocking Christmas 2015 features. I assume it's going to have to run through some post-install like activator script. It's probably going to put a whole bunch of software on here, all cracked because of course. And then it applies the core, whatever that is. So, okay, yeah, we're going to let it do its thing, and let's see if it gets itself installed. Alright, it just restarted the system, and it looks like the boot screen still remains unchanged. So, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, well, I guess it is from the perspective of like a bootleg where we want to see everything just completely changed, because it's hilarious. But let's just see what else we got in store for us here. So it's repairing our computer for first use. We've got a little graphic down there. Yeah, doing all the standard stuff. And once again, we have a different wallpaper. And we have another wallpaper from Wallpaper FX. You got like a watermark there in the corner. And we have that same graphic here just replacing the Windows 7 banner. So we'll go ahead and put in my name. We'll just call this Bootleg PC because, you know, that sounds like a good name. And we're not going to bother doing a password. We've got some different colors going on for the buttons here. We have like a glow effect when you hover over, so that's nice. We're going to skip the product key. I'm sure it's going to just crack it. And we're going to say ask me later for that. Pacific time, that's fine. Windows is finalizing your settings. We got a different progress bar there. Cursor still looks the same though. So that, yeah, and we got the little like arrow wheel there, I noticed. And look, okay, look at this. Like, you've got text on text, like from the background. Why? They couldn't have gotten a different background where you can actually see like the login text? So, okay, we got a few things going on here. It looks like we have maybe Rocket Dock or Object Dock up here, which is definitely a throwback for me. We've got Metro Sidebar. I've actually not seen this program before. This is a short guide to help you discover the basic Metro Sidebar features. So yeah, this I guess is kind of like a little Metro style interface here. I don't know how much of this stuff works anymore, but we got the date and time up here, got our computer name, and it's moving back and forth and changing places with this icon. We have a weather widget, we have a Bing search thing, and then we have a second page with an alarm. We got pictures. We'll definitely explore this a little bit more later, but let's see if I'm right. Is this Object Dock or this is definitely Rocket Dock? Heck yeah, dude. Okay. Man, this is such a throwback for me because this was like the first, you know, make Windows look like Mac OS program that I ever got. This brings back a lot of memories for me. So we've got like an icon pack applied. You can see to some of these icons up here. We've got like a little frost effect on the control panel and the network, and a Santa hat and a bow on the computer icon there, which, I mean, this is a custom one anyway. But are the icons like in the start menu? Oh my gosh, what the heck do we have going on here? We have the all programs button has been changed to that, and then you get back to the programs list there. So we have a different folder icon, but there's the computer icon, so that is the same thing as the one in the dock. In network, yeah, that looks like the network icon, so that's been changed. The control panel icon has been changed. What about the icons in the control panel? So I see that home group has been changed. It's a little ornament now, but most of these appear to be the standard ones, so that's fine. You see we have a different like theme going on here with these oddly placed buttons. Like, you would think they would make the entire window theme you know, red or green or something, as awful as that would look. Although maybe this is because we don't have like Aeroglass transparency working yet. I've also noticed that down here, I mean, look at the taskbar. Yeah, we just have a standard VGA graphics adapter installed. So I'm copying over the proper driver to a USB drive right now. I did notice though that in Device Manager, the disk drive icon has been changed to a present for some reason. It is the only thing in here that appears to have been changed, which is rather funny. And there we go. That looks miles better, doesn't it? So we actually have, yeah, the window looks fitting now. Like, it kind of fits in with the rest of the color scheme. So you can see the taskbar down here has that little stitching effect going on. Everything displays properly when you open and close windows. We can pin stuff to it, I'm sure. And you've also probably noticed the handful of applications on the desktop, including Windows Loader, which, yeah, is going to allow us to crack the Windows installation. It's also where you can change the OEM information, so if you don't want, like if we go into computer here, If you don't want to see like all of this information down here under system manufacturer, you can change that by using this tool. But the system itself identifies itself as just Christmas 2015, copyright 2015 TeamOS Corporation, because I'm sure they're totally like a real company. And yeah, The Rain, Windows 7 Ultimate, you got their logo here, I guess, and just the same, I think that's like the same wallpaper, or one of the same wallpapers we saw before. And then, you know, it tells you to activate it down there. But yeah, it doesn't do any of that for you, which is kind of interesting. Normally these bootlegs, they run through the like activation process all automatically. But we do have all this software on here. Actually not a whole lot of stuff. We have WinRAR, which, do you think this is a cracked copy? I'm guessing it is. Let's see. It has been activated with an unlimited company license, so they're not even gonna give WinRAR the satisfaction of you know, purchasing it or just letting it be in its 40-day infinite trial thing. So we got that. We've got VLC. We have Rocket Dock and Y Shadow under startup, as you just saw. Skin Pack is where Rocket Dock and Y's Shadow live. We've got SharePoint for some reason. Nero 8, which I assume is cracked. Office 2010, I assume that's cracked as well. Java, we have Internet Download Manager, Chrome, Glary Utilities 5, Gburner, I guess that's like a disk burner, games, all your standard stuff in there, and FileZilla. That's, I mean, honestly, like, I gotta give props. Like, this isn't the most bloated thing that I've ever seen by a long shot. This is actually a pretty decent selection of applications. So, I mean, I don't know, I've never used Gburner before. And look at that, this actually isn't cracked. Okay, that's fine. Although its evaluation period is expired, so it has a limit of, you know, how much data that you can burn. But yeah, this looks like your, you know, typical disk burning program. And then the other thing in here was Glary Utilities 5. Well, it looks like this is a tweaking program. We've got like disk cleanup, context menu manager, so you can change like what shows up in your context menu. That's nice. Process manager is just literally just going to be like process explorer or just task manager. Yeah, I mean, you can see like what stuff is currently running, and I guess, yeah, end process. Okay, you have an uninstall manager. Okay, so yeah, it's like one of these programs. You can do Windows registry repair and disk space cleanup and all that. So okay, but yeah, I mean, like I said, honestly, not like super bloated or anything. Although I do think you have like way too many interfaces going on here. You've got the dock, you've got the sidebar, but let's see what other tiles we've got in here. So, oh, we got like a whole interface, don't we? Kind of like a Metro UI style thing going on in the tile selector, so that's cool. You've got, yeah, user account info, which is what we have up there, the weather, so that's how it looks when it has accurate weather data. Search, you can do your power options, pictures, media player, a launcher, clock, which we already have, Bing search, battery meter, and alarm. So then there's a store, and I guess, you know, I mean, we aren't on the internet, but if this program was still like an active thing today, I'm assuming you could go in and like download stuff from there. But yeah, I've not seen this program before, but it does a pretty good job at mimicking the Metro or modern UI, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so that's that. And overall, I have to say, the theme is not really bad at all. I think it fits in well as a Christmas theme. It's definitely got that look going on. You've got Santa down here. You've got Merry Christmas at the top of the start menu, which is literally labeled Start Menu. Although there is something kind of weird going on with the shutdown dialog. You've got like two things of text there. You can still get to your other shutdown options though. And I noticed this too, when you go into all programs, you can see that 3 of these options that are normally on the start menu, just like Santa's blocking them, I guess. Like you can't get to devices and printers and default programs and help and support. So yeah, but you can, you know, get to the start menu properties and all of that. We went into the computer properties and took a look at everything in here. I think the theme is fine. I mean, there's a few kind of weird quirks going on, like these buttons don't really fit in, I don't think. The main criticism I would have with these, well, I think I'm going to have the same criticism with all of these bootlegs, is I don't get the point of it. Like, I mean, I guess you can say that about any of the Windows bootlegs we've taken a look at on this channel, because a lot of them are weird and like very, very niche, but why make a Christmas themed one that would only make sense to use like 1 month out of the year? Like, why would you want to use this in the middle of spring or in August? It just doesn't really, I mean, unless you're like someone who's just really obsessed with Christmas and you think about it every day for the entire year and you just are looking forward to it that much. Yeah, so that is the first Christmas bootleg of the season, I guess you could say. So now we're going to move on to the first Windows 10 one, which is Windows 10, what is this called again? Windows 10 Christmas Magic Pro. With a name like that, you know it must be good. We may have been able to do like a whole upgrade thing. I'm not going to mess with that because I don't want to have any of the existing information retained. So we're just going to do a clean install. Alright, well, some immediate improvement over the previous version is the fact that you can actually read everything in the setup now. Okay, well, almost everything. Let me just correct myself. You can't really read some of this text down here, but it's definitely a lot better. So let's see if they keep up that theme for the rest of the of the installation process. But this comes to us from TeamOS again. In fact, all three of these come from the same group, although they do have like different author names. I guess they were developed by different individual people inside of the group, you know, developed, quote unquote. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just delete the existing partitions and we'll install. I definitely like the fact that we have a solid white background instead of like that stupid transparency thing going on to where it made it difficult for you to be able to read everything. So that's nice. You know, very, very standard looking, of course, but that's not a bad thing. None of this has been changed in terms of like the product name or any of these steps. This is all normal. So yeah, we'll let it do its thing and see how far we get. And here we are on the desktop, and I have to admit, unfortunately, I did already see the Minion wallpaper before I downloaded this, but yeah, it's definitely quite the inclusion here. So we've got 3 minions, and then we've got a Christmas tree there in the background. It looks like we've got some custom icons applied, so we have like an ornament for this PC in recycle bin. We have this extras folder, which contains, well, it looks like a few things. We've got even WinArrow Tweaker in here, and then the Windows Post Installation Wizard, which we'll see if that runs automatically. Maybe it's not completely done yet. We'll just give it a moment before we start messing around with stuff in there. And then they've dropped links to their Facebook and their forum, and then a JPEG, which I think just has, yeah, like some information about TeamOS. And then you have this text document that just says download from teamos.com. And then that opens up in Notepad++. Okay, so that's one of the additional programs we have installed. They haven't added any shortcuts on the desktop to the additional programs, but going into the start menu, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of course, we haven't gone through this like post-install thing yet, but as of right now, we have 7-zip, Aeroglass Ultimate, IO-Bit Unlocker, nothing in the startup folder, and that's it. Just, you know, you got all your standard Windows system stuff, with most things having the regular icon, but there are a couple of custom icons that have been applied. And this start menu animation definitely looks pretty cool with the user icon there popping out when it fades in. And the start button down there has been replaced with older Windows 7/Vista orb with a Santa hat on it, which is kind of cool looking. So I guess since we've been sitting here for a little while and nothing else has run, we'll go in and open the Windows Post Installation Wizard, which this is actually just something that opens up in, I mean, yeah, it's a .msc extension, so it just opens up in the Microsoft Management Console. And this just seems to be, yeah, like none of this stuff is actually stored on the computer locally. It just has links to where you can download this stuff. So that's interesting. So I guess none of this is actually cracked software. I mean, some of this is free. You know, we got Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, You've got Tor Browser, Vivaldi, but CCleaner Professional Edition is a paid thing, but it just is going to take you to download.ccleaner.com. Yeah, this is not like your typical post-install script. Sure, we'll save those console settings. But then in here, we've got, okay, Christmas gadgets, watchme.png. Okay, so it tells you to apply Windows XP Service Pack 2 compatibility to this exe. Okay. We'll do that. And run the Christmas tree clock gadget. And was it saying to do this to the tree gadget? Yeah, it did. Okay, so I guess we didn't have to do that to the clock one, but we'll set it to this one as well. So there's the Christmas tree gadget, which also gives you some snowflakes falling down. But all this other stuff is just like, this is WinArrow Tweaker, which we'll just open with 7-zip. Yeah, that's just WinArrow Tweaker setup. We already took a look at this. System Transparency Portable. Okay, I just figured it out. So you can go into a window, and if you hold down Control and you press the mouse button, it will make the window, you know, it'll give a little bit of transparency going on. So, yeah, and then if you just close out of this, it will just revert everything back to normal. So that's a thing in here. You've got Ribbon Disabler. So yeah, this looks like it'll revert the Explorer interface and get rid of the Ribbon UI and change it back to like how it looked in Windows 7. So we'll go ahead and do that and then log off. Here's the lock screen, by the way, completely normal. Nothing different going on there. It's only once you log in. And so now we can go in here and yeah, it's, you know, got that Windows 7 UI going on. So that's kind of nice, you know, if you don't like the whole Ribbon UI. But then you have a remove OneDrive PowerShell script, which will probably just get OneDrive off the system. You have minion Christmas.jpg, which is just the minion over here in the center for some reason. So that's a separate JPEG. And then what is this Black Glass Enhanced? Is this a theme? Let's just extract both of these to this folder. We have an INI file, which, okay, process, it has 1 through 14. So is this like a launcher? Let's see. Okay, it's running in the system tray. Options, process name can add up to 14. Well, I installed a driver, and I think all this is doing is making everything look brighter, because, like, I mean, look at this. If we go in here and we disable it, or I guess, well, okay, now it's not going to execute on startup. But if we go into Task Manager and get rid of that, and yeah, see, now it's not running and it looks, you know, a lot clearer here. I think what you have to do is actually go into the Windows settings and change the app background to black. So if we go to personalization and go into colors, we want the default app mode to be black. So now we go into this PC and it's black. And I guess now if we run this program, it will give us some glass transparency maybe. Let's close out of this, open this back up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, so we got some cool transparency going on. So that's how that works. You just have to have the background as black, which does make sense with that being in the name, but you can only set up to 14 processes that will do this. So like Task Manager, since it does not have a black background, it's not themed that way, it just kind of has this weird looking overexposed effect like Explorer had before. Yeah, overall, not super bloated. It's nice that all this extra stuff is optional, so you don't have to go in here and install any of that stuff if you don't want to. Honestly, like, this theme is pretty nice. I like it. It's also not, like, super in your face about it being like a Christmas theme, aside from, of course, the wallpaper. But if you were to change that and just have, like, this start menu and this transparent taskbar, with the little, you know, Santa hat over the Windows logo, like that's honestly pretty nice. I mean, as a theme. And if you could kind of configure this somehow to where the Santa hat only shows up during the month of December, I mean, that would give you a reason to use this theme for the rest of the year. But Yeah, that is the second bootleg that we have to take a look at. So let's move on to the last one, which is called Windows 10 Christmas 2022 LTSC. But yeah, honestly, so far, these have been pretty tame for Windows bootlegs. I was kind of expecting the one with the Minion wallpaper to be some sort of monstrosity, but it wasn't really that bad. Also, this just, look at that. This one loaded into like a whole desktop. I guess this is kind of like a live CD because we have Windows install here on the desktop along with this PC and recycle bin. And yeah, we're logged into the system account and we got a whole bunch of tools on here. And yeah, so can you just use this thing as like a diagnostic CD or like for partitioning drives? You've got a partitioning tool on here for doing that. You got CPU-Z. This is actually kind of cool. This is also something I've not seen in a Windows bootleg either. And oh yeah, we've got some like custom Windows 10 start menu going on, just like we had in the last bootleg, but this one is different. Can we go into properties and see? Okay, this is start is back. It just can't find the configuration file. But yeah, it's like a live CD like you have on Linux. That's pretty neat. And this also is the newest of the 3 bootlegs that we're taking a look at today. This one comes from 2022. I guess we'll just run the Windows installer and we'll select English as the language. And I guess from this point on, it's going to be a regular setup process. I wonder if we can actually still access like stuff. Like, can we have Notepad 2 running like while the setup is going on? Let's see. Looks like we can, at least for now. Can open up this PC. Still have our taskbar down here. We'll open up. I mean, I don't really want to intentionally try and screw this up. I mean, what am I kidding? Of course I do. I'm going to refrain from doing it though. And we'll delete the existing partitions and just install it on the unallocated space. Not a terrible wallpaper here for the back of the setup. I mean, it's just like some clouds and it says Merry Christmas 2022 at the bottom. Not very like Christmas themed. I mean, I guess maybe you could say winter. You know, you got like some winter clouds going on. But at least you can read everything, so they get props for that. But yeah, there we go. Copying Windows files, getting files ready for installation, is doing all that. And it looks like we can totally still just use the live CD in the background if we wanted to. So that's kind of cool. But I'm just going to close out of this for now, and we'll let it do its thing. Okay, we made it to the OOBE, and it looks like we got a different mouse cursor applied, so that's something. But I imagine the rest of this is just going to be pretty standard. I mean, now that I think about it, we haven't really taken a look at a whole lot of Windows 10 bootlegs on this channel. I think the record is still probably set by Windows XP, and then maybe Windows 7 after that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and enter our name and do all this stuff. And there we go. So we're back at the desktop. It's searching for a display driver. Why don't I just get that installed right now, just so we don't have to do it later. So I'll plug in the USB that has that on it, and we'll go into Device Manager, and we'll see if there are any weird modifications to it. It looks like we got, oh, is that Rain Meter? I think that is indeed Rain Meter. Okay, well that's definitely a nice addition. And then we have this clock widget up here. Definitely a Christmas theme going on there. I don't know, what is this? X widget gallery. Okay, well that's probably having to do with this widget up here. Let me just go into display adapters real quick and we'll update the driver. Alright, there we go. I got everything resized, and I did lower the screen resolution to 800 by 600, which is the typical resolution I use with this setup, just so everything shows up better on video. So that means that the Rain Meter stuff, some of those Rain Meter widgets, which I'm assuming this is Rain Meter anyways, or wait, or this isn't, this is X widget menu? Okay, so this is a part of that. I think the same thing here, right? Or no, this is, okay, this is actually Rain Meter. I had it backwards. So this is a separate program entirely. This is a part of Rain Meter. So we can go into here, and here's all the other stuff that we have. Or I guess we don't have any of this running right now, but we can get the clock up, and we can get some of the default stuff that we had going on. Oh, we can actually lower the size of this. Why don't we do that? Yeah, we'll lower the size of the Christmas clock. We'll get the weather there. It also seems like it got rid of our wallpaper. You know what? Maybe I should just set this back because it looks like a lot of this stuff is just going off the screen. So why don't I just change this back to 1024 by 768. Yeah, and now we get the wallpaper back. I was like, I could have sworn we had a whole wallpaper thing going on. So, okay, yeah, there's that, and here's all the other rain meter stuff. This is actually, okay, this just looks like the default rain meter skin, but this is a different thing entirely. It's this Rainformer HWI skin. So you got a drive thing there, you have CPU and RAM information, and your network info. We'll leave the Christmas clock up there. And, I mean, this is not accurate weather information because we're not online, but, yeah, you have a little weather widget here, too. We're just going to close out of that. We also have down here a dock with just Brave Browser, Wise Care 365, Smart Defrag, and Windows Update Mini Tool in here. I assume this is just going to gather, you know, Windows updates for you if we were online. And then going into the start menu, which we have just like an orb down here. The taskbar theme is not like anything Christmas related at all, nor is the icon there. But when you open up the start menu, you have this Merry Christmas background with like a Christmas tree and some lights. And again, not a whole lot of stuff in here. So we have Brave and Rain Meter, of course, 7-zip, nothing else in games, it looks like. Infran View, Java, K-Lite Codec Pack. We have Right-Click Enhancer, Smart Defrag 6, Stardock. We have Rain Meter and Rocket Dock. Okay, so this is Rocket Dock under Startup. We have Winamp. So yeah, honestly, like, not super bloated, and I mean, some of the software is fine. I don't know what this Wise Care 365 is. Okay, it looks like, yeah, it's a cleaner thing and a system tune-up, so I don't know how much of this is like, you know, scareware, like, oh, you gotta clean your system and stuff, but this kind of seems like it might be similar to something like CCleaner. It is also the Pro version, so I'm assuming it's cracked. I also just noticed on the desktop we have an activator folder, and yeah, you got your W10 digital activation.exe in there. So yeah, that's how you get the system activated. I'm assuming it doesn't come activated by default. I have noticed some changes to the context menu. There's what is God mode? This application only runs under Windows PE or Windows RE. Okay, that might be like the system account or something. But you've got like shortcuts to the system configuration utility, problem steps recorder, open and elevated command prompt. I did notice some minor modifications to the context menus in the other bootlegs as well, but nothing like stuck out to me like God mode did. And I mean, yeah, this is Rocket Dock down here, right? So we can go in and go to dock settings and change the centering of this and the edge offset, and we can, you know, add stuff to it if we want to, change the style. This is apparently the Christmas dock, but we can change that to something else if we want to. And I also think that, you know, having it on top of the screen makes a little bit more sense rather than having it just floating above the taskbar. Because, you know, you're going to go down here for your taskbar, and you will probably have stuff pinned, you know, all along here. At least I do anyways on my Windows install. And then you maybe have, like, some core applications up here, you know, things that you want to get access to. Or, you know, the way that I always used Rocket Dock was by getting rid of the taskbar entirely and hiding it, and then just having everything done from the dock. That's kind of how you're supposed to use it. It doesn't really make much sense with the way that they're doing it here. But anyway, yeah, so that is, I guess, I mean, we can go in here and go to properties and take a look at just what it says in here. So, Merry Christmas for the system manufacturer logo. Model Christmas 2022 LTSC. So they've modified that. You get, of course, TeamOS under your support information. And they changed the Windows logo, too. So, oh, and Windows is activated. Okay, so it's already been cracked, I guess. Oh, and you also saw we have some custom icons, but these don't look like Christmas or winter related at all. Let's go into, like, what do we have in control panel? Are there new icons in here? There are. at least for all the categories. Let's do the individual items. No, okay, so these are mostly still the same. But yeah, not anything really Christmas related. The only things that really like make this stand out to me as a Christmas themed distro, if you want to call it that, are the widget here, the wallpaper, and the start menu saying Merry Christmas. Everything else, it just kind of seems like this was another Windows bootleg that was slightly modified to, you know, be Christmasified. Yeah, I guess there you have it. Those are 3 honestly kind of underwhelming Windows bootlegs, at least for the the reputation that Windows bootlegs have on this channel, because we've taken a look at ones that are a lot worse than this, that have so much just bloatware and a bunch of crap thrown in. Honestly, this last one with that whole like pre-installation environment live CD thing, that was genuinely really cool. That I like I said, I had not seen that in another Windows bootleg that I can think of anyways. So but yeah, that is, I guess, gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, definitely be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, and maybe consider becoming a patron or a channel member to get early access to these videos before anybody else. And guys, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year if I don't make another video until 2026. And if I don't, let me just say that this has been a fantastic year for me personally and for the channel. I've put out some videos this year that I was just really excited about, and I definitely want to keep that going into 2026. And I hope to, you know, make some more videos for you guys and just continue with this. And yeah, so thank you very much for your support for this past year, and for your continued viewership. I really appreciate it. And yeah, as always, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.